Yeah, well, good morning. This morning is Monday, December 16th. Yeah, my wife and I were away a couple days here again over the weekend. I have some family in South Carolina, and my one nephew was turning 40, so they had a birthday party for him, and we hadn't been down for a couple years, so we decided to go. It was kind of a quick trip, but yet we had a lot of fun. And then on our way home yesterday, we heard they were calling for some snow here at home in Pennsylvania. On our way home, it started turning into more than what they thought it was going to, and we had fairly clear roads most of the way home. The last hour was a little bit treacherous, but it wasn't bad. We seen one car that went off in the ditch, and there wasn't very many vehicles out on the road, actually. Yeah, once we got off the main interstate, the last couple miles, yeah, the roads weren't cleared very good at all, but yeah, it wasn't bad. We didn't have any trouble, didn't get held up, and we were thankful for that. Got home almost 11 o'clock last night, and I milked this morning. We just got done milking, but anyway, we got about 5 or 6 inches of snow, 4 to 6 inches, somewhere in there, and then it turned to rain there later, and it packed down. There's probably a good, 3 inches on the ground here yet, but then they're talking 40, low 40s and some rain today, and then tomorrow it's supposed to get up in the mid 50s, so probably won't be much left. But yep, so that's part of winter time around here, so it does look pretty for a little bit. So yeah, it's good to be back home and get back into the normal schedule. We have a skid loader tire that's flat here this morning, so I'm not sure if it just got popped off of its bead or if something else happened, but yeah, it was flat when I came this morning. I didn't ask anybody about it or anything, but that happens. But I want to pull it off here and take it to the local tire shop and have them check it out. We usually put slime in our skid loader tires, and I know the tire people that change tires don't like that, but by doing that, we almost never have any flat tires on our skid loaders unless somehow they get popped off their bead or get a puncture or something. But it's yeah, we'll probably take it back to the local tire shop and get them to seat the bead again and put some slime in it. So got to pull that off and take care of that. We've talked about the Harvestore Sallow before and said about how the unloader's on the bottom. There's a door here that today they're here and pulled it, and we're putting some new parts on it and a new chain, and there's kind of a trough down in underneath here. You can't see it real good, but the floor of the sallow would be right here, and then below that's where the conveyor chain runs, and it slides back in, and then there's a big cutter chain that goes on this arm. We're putting a new cutter chain on. This bottom chain here is the conveyor chain. It should last another year or two, hopefully. But yeah, they're putting some new sprockets on as well. The top and bottom sprocket, and here's the old sprocket. It's really getting worn. You see the difference between these teeth and the ones over on the other one. There's where those two big sprockets go on. They slide down on that shaft there. The one runs the conveyor chain at the bottom, and the other one runs the cutter chain up at the top. Our feed room floor is all wet today because of getting the snow, and it drug a bunch of moisture in here. So here's the new cutter chain here that we're going to put on here shortly. There's the company that built our Harvestore years ago is who does our service work on it. Yeah, we got all these new hooks put on the chain. The chain actually has a stainless steel bushing in there to make it last longer. And these hooks, if you look at them, every hook's a little different. Like this one here has two sticking out right here like that. This one has one sticking out kind of in the middle of that, and then it's got a bigger one up on the top that's turned in. This one here has one at the bottom and then one at the top. Basically, they're turned so that as this goes around, it catches all the feed in front of it. And yeah, if you kind of look down through here, I think he said there's 10 different hooks, something like that. So yeah, we had to put all them bolts in. They have lock nuts on them. Had to tighten them all up. And I'll show you the old chain. If you look what these hooks look like on here, like the thickness of this hook. The old ones are wearing really thin, and that's part of what causes it to not dig it out right. We usually have to pull this unloader about once a year. Yeah, I'll show you, see how this hooks. They don't even have much of a big flat part on them anymore. It's just smooth there. It's pretty, basically the hooks are wearing down and it don't catch as much feed then. And then in here where those stainless steel bushings are, they start wearing. I think they said, they look back and this one's 6.5 years old. So we usually pull the unloader about once a year to do a service on it and tighten up the chains. The conveyor chain you can tighten up from outside, but the conveyor chain you can tighten up from the outside, but the cutter chain you got to tighten up. You got to pull the unloader to tighten it up from the inside. And there's 2 rails that you put on jack stands, and you pull the whole unloader out, and it's laying out here in the open to work on. Yeah, I said about it being sloppy out here. Yeah, I'd say most of the snow's gone. There's maybe about an inch here, some places yet. Let's say a little bit about this Harvestore. I think I did in one other video when I was talking about all of our sallows several months ago. But we built this sallow originally in 1989, and then in 2006, actually when we built it, it was a 20 by 70. 2006, when we had our barn fire, it ruined it and we had to rebuild it. We made it a 20 by 85, and we switched over to, when we first built it, we had haylage in it, and then we switched over to earlage, high moisture corn actually first. It was, they would take the sieves out of the combine and let some of the cob with it, and then later we switched over to earlage probably close 10 years ago. The chains last a long time. We usually only pull them once a year and do a service on it, unless something happens that we have to do more than that, but very rarely. So yeah, we'll try to get a little bit of the video of them pulling the unloader back in when they do here before too long. I had showed back here at the back where the shaft was sticking up. They have everything all back together back here. I should have got a video when just the sprockets were on, but yeah, the big sprockets down here at the bottom and the smaller sprockets right here on the top. And conveyor chain down here, it just got paddles on it that pull it out, and then this is the cutter chain. Yeah, he's got to do a little bit here yet, and then he'll be ready to pull it back in. So this cutter chain is on an arm that pivots right here in the middle. So once it's pulled back, this is in the center, or once the unloader is put back in the sallow, this is in the center, and it turns, like goes really slow. Probably takes 3 to 5 days to go the whole way around. With what we're feeding out of it right now, probably 5 days. And so yeah, it just turns, or the chain, it don't go real fast, but the arm turns really slow in there. They're slowly pulling it back in. Said this, but there's like a trough that the unloader slides back in, and this conveyor chain, well, this conveyor chain here rides down in the trough. So the cutter chain runs right at the floor level then and drops it down into the conveyor, and the conveyor brings it out. Almost thinking it was several years ago when we had that other issue with the bag and the weekend employee that they put them on. The other evening when the man was here working on our Harvestore sallow, it was getting a little later till he got done. I think it was around 6 or 6:30 till he left, so it was dark out. So yeah, this is another day. Here you can see the unloaders back in the sallow, and right where that opening was that I was showing you inside the sallow, there's a big door. I say a big door. It's probably, I don't know, 3 feet wide and 2 feet high, give or take a little. It's made of aluminum, has a big seal the whole way around it. They usually put a piece of plastic inside it to keep that door from corroding, or to keep it from corroding. Eventually the silage juice will corrode it some. I say silage juice, not juice. The acid in the silage. And yeah, maybe sometime I'll do a little more of a description of this sallow whenever I'm feeding sometime. Yeah, there's a big ratchet system here that advances that arm inside. There's a, you can't see it real good here, but right inside here would be a clock that tells you where the arm is. And there's kind of a meter in there. Yeah, it's like a clock though. It looks like a clock inside. I mean, there's not numbers, but there's a needle in there that shows you where the arm is. And yeah, but like I said, it's running way better now since we got it worked on and got that new chain. I think our biggest problem was those hooks were getting worn really bad. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, December 17th. Today is Lois's birthday, and you're not supposed to tell how old a lady is, so I won't tell you her age, but
let's just say the big party was last year.
Oh, she said, let's just say her big party was last year, so that tells you something. So, yeah, we're milking here again this morning. I had mentioned there yesterday while we were working on the Harvestore sallow unloader, and yeah, we'd had that snow Sunday afternoon and evening, and then yesterday it was melting and everything was kind of sloppy. And back there in the feed room and outside. Yeah, just was driving in and out of the feed room. You're dragging moisture in, and but yeah, we got that all done. Now we're milking here this morning, and yeah, we'll try to do something. We usually try to do something special for birthdays, so we'll see what all we get into. My birthday's in the summer, so yeah, that helps a lot for that. But Lois always likes to bring treats along out for her animals when we milk, and this is Penny. She's a red lab, and she usually makes them do something to get their treat. And she knows how to sit, and she usually shakes her paw or shakes her hand, we say. But Lois has been trying to get her to speak. Sometimes she'll like throw her head back a little bit like she's thinking about it, but she's never barked yet. Our cows won't all quite fit in the holding area to get the gate shut when we start milking, so we have a little catch pen here at the end and 2 gates that we close. Yeah, after you have 8 or 10 lines through, we come back and push the rest of them down in and shut the gate. On our last line, we're just about done. Yeah, we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a happy, prosperous New Year. We want to thank everybody for watching our videos and hope you enjoy them. Yeah, it's hope everybody has a good day next week as we remember the day Jesus came to the earth as a baby. So we'll see you next time.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come.